Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new, welcome to the channel. My name is Michelle Expert and I hope that you're going to enjoy all the content that is on this channel and that is to come. So as you can see by the title of the video, do not make this mistake that I made. So let me actually get right into it. If you've been on this channel for a while, you know that I have been an entrepreneur for about 6 years, of which 2 to 3 of those years were part-time and the rest have been full-time. So I've been working for myself from 2018. And one of the biggest things that I always share with you guys is the different lessons that I learn into every season of my life, because every time you grow as a person, as an entrepreneur, like you reach a certain level where you have to grow and more has to happen and. But in this lesson, I was really reminded of this the other day when I was doing my strategy for March and just revisiting the things that I want to do and the things that I'm planning to do. And I realized that one of the biggest things that has held me back for the longest of time is not being consistently, right? So what I have done for the longest of time is I would be consistent with something for a year, or no, a year is a lot, I'm lying. I'd be consistent with something for like a month, and then the next month I don't do it. And then I come back again the next month and I don't do it, and what I actually saw what that did is it literally made like my success, not necessarily my success, but my progression be like this. So I would be like progressing and then the progress goes down. So basically taking 10 steps forward and 10 steps backwards, 10 steps forward and 10 steps backwards. And this is something that had been happening in my life for quite some time, until I felt like maybe I'm not good enough at what I do, maybe I'm not doing it well. Like I was reasoning with myself in different kinds of ways, feeling like maybe it's not happening the way that it should be happening, or I'm not doing it right, or what I just had a lot of things that I was telling myself around the work that I do. But one of the biggest mistakes I realized that I was making during that time was I was not upgrading my work ethic. And I need you to not make that mistake. Every time you realize that something is not growing as much as you want it to grow, before you can think about giving up, or think about maybe it not working, or think about your audience not responding, or maybe people not buying, I need you to look first into your work ethic and ask yourself, am I diligently working hard enough for this thing to be a success? Because I think there's something about working for yourself that makes you feel like you can relax. For instance, when you work for yourself, especially in the beginning, it's easier for you to start your day at 10 or at 11. It's easier for you to work 3 hours a day or run errands for family when you should be working. But what you don't realize is that time compounds to this big thing that eventually just you find yourself not having the time, or not working and doing the things that you said you would do, mainly because you're spending your time serving others within their personal lives than you actually are in terms of your working. So I had to really kind of face the truth around why was I not succeeding, why was I not doing what I said I would do. So it is important, it is absolutely important to look at your work ethic. Now, here's how I would recommend that you start looking at your work ethic. You need to look at what are the things that you dedicate your time to mostly during the day. And what we do quite often is that we don't take audit of what we're doing through the day. And let me be very honest and tell you, actually, let me tell you this. Let me tell you where the shift happened for me, right? So I had a client that I was servicing for my business, and it was a lady that ran a business. It was a lady from California, from the States, and she was a Silicon Valley girl. If you know anything about Silicon Valley, you know those people are straight hard workers, right? And she was a tech girl, very focused lady, and we worked together for quite some time. And as we worked together, we actually developed a friendship before I actually decided to take her on as a client. And then when she became my client, guys, I could not believe the amount of work that this girl did, okay? And sometimes, so what we used to do is sometimes we used to come and sit and work together. This girl worked, okay? I would see the amount of stuff that she would do on a daily basis and compare it to mine. I'm just there's no way. There's no freaking way. This girl is working. This girl's putting in the hours. And that's when I learned that one of the biggest catalysts of your success for your business, your brand, or anything is you actually putting in the work. And for me, this changed my mind. This changed the way that I looked at life, that I looked at my work, and that I looked at the things that I do. And I think from then, I've been so dedicated to doubling down on all the work that I do and doing so much more of it, because it it is so important that you realize for you to be able to kind of walk through the success that you need to walk through, you need to put in the work. And I think being intentional about that work is so important, because when you're intentional about that work, you give yourself the space and the time to create and come up with new ideas. Like, I felt like I was only getting work done when I think of something to do. There wasn't like a proper plan. And these days I've been so intentional with sitting down and giving myself time to work, even if I don't know what work is, even if like I've got a gap within like a day, I've got an hour or two where my tasks are done and there isn't anything pressing that needs to get done. I will sit around and think about ideas. I will sit around and watch some content and some videos and some of the things that I feel like, okay, maybe I can start doing this to help me come up with other ideas for my content. But you need to be very intentional about the work that you are putting in and the hours that you're putting in the work. And I think for me, now looking back, I realize that that's one of the biggest mistakes that I've made. And I think that my brand, my business, and a lot of things that I do would have tripled in terms of like value, in terms of finances, in terms of just growth as well, if I had merely focused on those things. Like, for me, those were very big. So I'm just sharing this video to encourage you today that don't make the mistake that I made. Audit your work ethic, upgrade your work ethic. Look at the work that you're doing and ask yourself, am I being intentional about doing this work? And guys, this also applies for people that if you're currently employed and you are running a side hustle, or you're wanting to build a brand on the side, but you're wanting to do something that's going to like bring you closer to your passion. This also actually applies to you as well. It is important that you realize that if you don't put in the work, if you don't put in intentional time and work, you're not going to get the results that you want to get. So I'm encouraging you today. Go out there, put in the work, go out there and do what you need to do to be able to get the results that you want, because that is one of the biggest catalysts to your growth in your finances, your growth in your mind. I mean, now I become so intentional about reading. I become so intentional about setting time on a daily basis to get work done, to read, and to do something that's going to take me to the next level, because I've just told myself it's time you take yourself seriously, and it's time you take what you are doing more seriously. So that becomes very important. I hope that that video spoke to you, and you can now go back to the drawing board and say, what do I need to do? Do you need to put to-do lists? Do you need to put a monthly planner? I recently got a yearly planner that is saving my life, guys. It's literally doing so. I've posted about it on Instagram. I'm sharing so much with myself around like what my day looks like, what my month looks like, and because I think those things are very important in terms of taking you to the next level as a person that is trying to do more. So I hope that that is something you can do for yourself. That is something you can see for yourself, and you can actually begin to build a brand that matters for you. So with that said, I love you guys so much. Have yourselves a beautiful one. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe.